Good morning, everybody. Here are your 10:30 a.m. morning news. I'm Bahar Garian. Nanaimo Police in BC say they will be pulling back their presence at two schools that were targeted by an unspecific threat earlier this week. The RCMP say in a statement that they will continue to communicate with staff at Wellington High School and Nanaimo District Secondary, but officers may not be present on Friday. They say the change is based on findings of their ongoing investigation, which have not been able to substantiate the information received. RCMP have not released details of the threat other than to say it was directed both at schools and officers who were deployed out of an abundance of caution. With the National Bank of Canada special report from August of 2024 stating the youth job market is deteriorating, many young people are still struggling to find hard work. Our reporter Riley Cunningham has more of the frustrations with this current economy. All right, we're going to move on to here's what Joe has on the upcoming BCIT's The Crow.
Thanks, Bahar. So today we're looking at our reporter Caleb Templeton following up on a road rage incident that took place in North Vancouver over the weekend. And with spooky season here, our reporter Riley Cunningham is looking into the haunted house inside Kingsgate Mall, so she'll be back to you with that. And then we've got Clara Lonto, who's kind of diving in on the rising price of coffee and what it's going to mean for consumers with those prices going up. Back to you, Bahar.
Police have been cleared due to the death of a man from Surrey while he was in custody. The man was first arrested for intoxication in public. According to investigators, the man had initially resisted arrest, and video footage proves that he had been kicking at and pushing the police officer that was putting him in custody. One officer had punched the man 4 times, and he was taken to hospital where he died of cardiac arrest. Nearly a year later, the RCMP have announced there was no wrongdoing on the police officer's part, and he has been cleared. In the Middle East, Greta Thunberg has been deported from Israel and has landed in Greece. Alongside 170 other Gaza flotilla activists, her crew was recently intercepted by naval forces. According to another activist, she was tortured and forced to kiss the Israeli flag by Israeli officials. Although she's in safe hands now after landing in Greece, the experience was brutal for the young activist. Many others taken into custody say they were denied basic rights during their detention. Winfield Beaver, a political activist, has more on Israel's treatment of Greta.
They draped her in an Israeli flag and they just pushed and pulled her wherever they wanted and for whatever propaganda they wanted. I was like 3 people in front of her in line, and she came close to this private room and they just shoved her really aggressively and put her in the room, and then Ben Gavir arrives and goes into the room with her. And they were just, it was awful, but they were trying to use her as propaganda for their...
France has been on the edge of its seat as their PM resigned hours after naming government. Sébastien Lecornu has resigned just a day after naming his government and less than a month in office. The French president, Emmanuel Macron, announced today that his resignation has been accepted. The change has plunged France into a political chaos. During a short time, the PM's decision in office were controversial, and he faced quite a bit of controversy against the political spectrum. The LC Palace has more on Lecornu's resignation.
And now, early this morning, his resignation has been handed in and accepted by the President Emmanuel Macron, leaving Macron in a real crisis because he is going through prime ministers very quickly, too quickly really, for his position to remain stable for much longer.
Vancouver police are investigating a fatal shooting in the city's Strathcona neighborhood. They say they were called at about 7 a.m. Tuesday to a location near Main and Union Streets. Police say he was taken to hospital but died of his injuries after suffering from a gunshot wound. No one has been arrested, and police say it's unclear if the shooting involved people who knew each other. Thanks for listening to BCIT The Crows. That's Bahar Garian.
It's your career, your vision, your goal. Navigate it your way. Flexible learning is designed for you. Learn a new skill or earn a degree at your own pace. BCIT, flexible learning for a complex world.